that property is under contract. Oh,
sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
hold on. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath. But so I tell them, unfortunately that property is like already under contract. However, I can assist you with other properties if you just tell me like details as far as what you're looking for. I see this property is, let's say, 3 bedrooms. Is that like a must? I just kind of engage in conversation, see what they're looking for, let them know. I'll send out a list of properties that, that they're interested in. Just keep on the conversation. I don't always off the bat, just depending on how the conversation's going, you can kind of feel your audience. Sometimes I'll ask them, depending, again, if I see they're very engaged, I'll just ask them, unfortunately, I don't mind. I do kind of have to ask this question. Are you already pre-qualified? That way I know what your budget is when I'm looking, and just that's a way of throwing it in without saying, okay, what's your budget? You could say, are you a cash buyer or you finance? Just, I need to know so I can find out your budget. How much are you pre-qualified for? That's kind of a way of saying it without directly coming out and asking the question. So that's how I handle it.
Repeat that again. How do you say what?
So what I do is that I'll ask them, are you already pre-qualified? If so, how much are you pre-qualified for? So I know your budget. And if not, if you're paying cash, what is your budget?
Okay.
So that way I'm not like, some people don't like to, but I kind of just feel out the conversation. If I feel that they're not very engaged, I don't ask the question. My plan is just to get out there at least the first time, even if they're not pre-qualified. I know some realtors are different. I don't mind going out one time just to meet someone that's not pre-qualified. I do it all the time. So I go out there. I don't care if you're not pre-qualified.
And there's agents that tell you that they never ask about even ask if they're pre-qualified on that first call.
I sometimes don't.
Yeah.
If I feel like the conversation's going good, then I'll ask. If I feel like this one's a little touchy, I'm not even gonna ask.
Okay. So can we do a little quick role play of how you would let's say I'm an incoming lead, how you would sort of attack that, so people kind of can hear sort of how the conversation will go. Just treat me like as if I'm a lead and I'm a buyer. Okay. Can we play real quick? All right. So I'm gonna be a lead. I'll be so let's just say it's a transfer lead. So like yeah, let's just say it's all
like
Can I give you the scenario?
Okay, so Sue, you could be the Ojo concierge. Go.
Okay. Hi, Maylene Gonzalez. How are you this morning?
Good. And yourself?
I'm doing wonderful. I actually have a lead on the call right now. Are you available to take his call at the present time?
I definitely am. How may I help?
Okay, beautiful. I need to advise you that you are on a recorded call. Okay. Juanito Pepe, I have Maylene Gonzalez here, and she'll continue with the phone call.
Okay,
great. Good morning, Juanito Pepe. How may I help you?
Hi.
Hola,
yes.
¿Cómo tú estás? ¿Speak Spanish?
Sí, hablo español, pero vamos, speak English.
No, no, I don't speak Spanish.
This is very serious. I'm being serious here, okay? Like, it's joking, but it's serious. Okay,
no, but
perfect.
Vic's taking the call, not you.
I'm taking the call. Yeah,
I'm
the client.
Yeah,
okay, go for it. Go.
Spanish,
okay, go for it. Go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not everybody on the call is Spanish. Speak Spanish.
Yeah. Hi. Hello.
Hi, Juanito Pepe. Good morning. How may I help you?
Yeah, no, I was transferred to you. I was speaking to somebody, and I was interested in taking a look at 123 Main Street, and they told me you could help me with that.
Okay, great. What is okay? Is there any specific class? This is so weird because it's like weird. Like it's not in front of me. Okay, so you're specific and you want to see 123 Main Street, and what is your availability?
Let me check. I can check with my wife, but we should be able to see probably tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday, so in the morning, anytime. Should be open.
Saturday morning, anytime. Great. Okay, well, check with your wife, and I will work on my end and getting that scheduled for us. In the meantime, okay, go ahead.
let me ask you, do you know of the property, if there's a lot of offers on this property, or, is it something where we're gonna have to come like above asking price, or do you think we can get a good deal on this property?
So in the market that we're in is what I tell all my buyers. This is a market where we have very low inventory. So properties are moving fast. We do have a lot of buyers that are offering above asking price. So it is a very competitive market. So if you listen to my advice would be to definitely go in to, as strong as you can, to your ability. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this
Sorry, guys.
property,
My
I
son's
mean,
alarm
we,
just
if we really like it, we're willing to put a strong offer. We are pre-approved up to 500,000, which is exactly the purchase price of this property. So yeah, I mean, I would just be interested in seeing it.
Okay, great. So we'll take it from there. I will go ahead and work on scheduling that for us tomorrow, for Saturday in the morning. Go ahead and check with your wife. In the meantime, are there any other properties that you were interested in looking at?
There was another one. I saw there's like 2 other properties. I think there's an open house on them tomorrow. So I was just gonna go to the open house after I saw these.
Okay, well, I will go ahead and go with you to the open house after this one. That way, if you have any questions, I can go ahead and assist you with that. And what I can do for you as well is if you give me your criteria as far as what you're looking for. I know that, for instance, based on this property is 3 bedrooms, something that you're interested in. Is it one of the needs that you need?
Yeah, at least 3 bedrooms. We're just looking for a house in Miami Lakes. At least 3 bedrooms, big lot, one space for, we have kids, we have a dog, we have, so we want space enough for that. I would like a pool as well. And, just something that also doesn't need to do a lot of work. I don't mind doing some work, but just something that doesn't need a ton of work that we're able to move into right away.
Okay, and how do you feel about associations?
I don't mind. If it's in an association, that's okay, as long as it's not too expensive, but I really don't mind if it's an association or not.
Okay, great. Is the garage by any chance a need of yours?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
We also would like at least a 1-car garage.
Okay, 1-car garage. And when you say Miami Lakes, are you okay with like the surrounding areas of Miami Lakes? Or are you very specific of being in Miami Lakes, maybe because of schools? I know you mentioned you have kids.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to definitely stay like in Miami Lakes. I would consider maybe going outside of Miami Lakes, but that's like really my main, that's where we really want to be.
Okay. By any chance, are any specific schools that you're interested in for your children? Is that like a reason for Miami Lakes? Because it's important. If it is based on schools, then we do stay in the school zone.
No, my kids are already almost about to graduate. They're already old.
Okay, great. So then we have open options. All right, so I will go ahead and work on getting us confirmed for tomorrow, Saturday morning. Speak to your wife, let me know if that's okay. From there, we'll go to the open house. Based on the list of properties I'm going to send you, if you do see anything you do like, you could either click favorite on there, give me a call, send me a message. That way, maybe I can work on scheduling those and maybe we can just see them, right after the second open house. Maybe we can get a few in. I don't want to overwhelm you. I don't know if you have plans throughout the day, but maybe we can see a few properties. If not, we can leave it for another day when you are available.
Okay, sure.
Okay, do you have any questions for me?
No, I mean, I did think I wanted to ask you about, like, as far as that property, because the price does seem kind of high. My wife was showing me a couple of homes that have sold in the area and they sold a lot less than that.
Okay.
So I'm a little concerned, and that's why I asked at the beginning if it's something you think we can get a good deal on, because it's priced so high. So that's my main concern, is that property, I feel, is just not worth that much. So if we do see it, I just don't know, if I really want to pay $500,000 for that home. It just seems very high. So what would be your opinion on that? Obviously, I mean, I don't want to overpay for something. So that's kind of a concern of mine. I mean, is there, can we tell the seller like, hey, like, can we show them what, what the homes really are going for, and hopefully maybe get them to lower the price?
Okay, well, definitely on my end, let's go in and see the property. We are in a market where sellers are pricing the homes a little bit higher because there is no inventory. So this is not unusual in the market that we're in. You are financing. So because we are financing, all offers are subject to appraisal. We're not going to be waiving an appraisal unless it's something that you're actually willing to do or can do, right? Before we make the offer, I definitely will pull comparables. I will speak with the listing agent just to find out if they've educated their client as far as what the previous sales in the neighborhood have been. Like, are they educated? How willing are they to sell if the property does not appraise? And definitely, you want to, as a realtor, I want to make sure that before we get under contract, we're not wasting each other's time, so that is part of the work that I do on my end. But, let's go out, let's see the property, and then we move from there. But that's definitely the stuff that I will be doing on my end. If you do like the property and you're interested in it, I will go ahead and do all that legwork. We will pull comparables. I will speak with the listing agent, and we will take it from there.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay. Anything else for me?
No.
No.
You answered my
Okay.
questions.
Okay, great. So I will go ahead and start working on this for us. And I look forward to speaking with you. I'll get back to you shortly.
All right. Cool.
Okay. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Cool. So, that was cool. That was good. My bad. I know you were. I threw you off a little bit there. You weren't expecting that.
I got a breath. You started me with cold calling here.
No, listen, after you got comfortable and you started to flow,
Yeah,
it
because
was
you
like
caught me
I
off
saw
guard.
it flowing. It was awesome.
Yeah,
And you
you caught
answered
me off guard.
exactly what I needed.
Yeah, I literally had like no breath, no water. I'm like trying to take my pills.
All right.
I'm like, okay, I got this.
That was
that's
awesome. It was
kind
great.
of,
Thank
but
you.
that's how it is with leads, man. They catch you off guard. You never know when a lead's gonna come in. You might be working out. You might be, in the middle of a drive, in a meeting. It could come at any time. So
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think, I like that you're very thorough. It's just know that there are some buyers out there that might just, I don't know, like there are people you want to be that, and I was clearly somebody that wanted answers, so that's why I was asking you questions. But I'm sure that when a time comes when you're dealing with somebody that doesn't have so many questions, or they seem short with you, I'm sure you try to get them to open up a little bit, but if they don't, you probably keep it short, or how do you deal with those people?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I read my audience. You were very, hold on a second. I have to touch this. Hold on, 2 seconds. I literally just, if they're quick, I'm quick. I just go straight to the point.
Somebody has an alarm ringing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's why I was kind of freaking out, because I had so much going on. Then my son's alarm started going off.
Oh, sorry. That's
And
you.
I'm
My
like
bad. I didn't know. I thought it was somebody else that wasn't
and I'm
muted.
trying
Sorry.
trying to get his attention to turn off the alarm. I can't.
It's okay.
And I'm role playing. So yeah. So if I feel like they really just want no conversation, I'm just quick and to the point. So I'm just like, okay, you want to see the property? Okay, great. Then let me go ahead and get that scheduled for us. Like, I literally just, and then once I have the appointment, or sometimes I even say I have the appointment just to not lose them, depending on how.
I always did that. So I would always say,
Yeah.
listen, so if I knew the time that they wanted to see it, I would always tell them, so yeah, so if I was able to, like, it just depends. You gotta do it. You gotta kind of learn to do this. It's hard to teach, but with some properties, I would just schedule the appointment. I would just tell them, yes, we're good. So you want to see it today at 6:30? Okay, great. Listen, so we're confirmed. I will see you there at 6:30. Because remember, some of these leads, especially depending on where you get your leads from, they might have other agents calling them.
Mm-hmm.
So I log it down right there and I say, I haven't even spoken to the listing agent. I don't have nothing confirmed, but I would let them know, hey, your appointment is confirmed. We're good to go. I'll see you there. I rather do that and make them already think, okay, I'm good to go. I'm seeing this property with Victor. I'd rather do that than to have another agent call and say, oh, okay, yeah, we're confirmed, you know, because they might do that without really confirming and I lose it. So I would do that. And then I would call, and then I have to reschedule or we can't see it. I'd rather call them back and say, hey, you know, unfortunately the seller had something come up. We're not gonna be able to see it at 6:30, but we can go at 7, or, you know, or we could go tomorrow in the morning, you know, something like that. So that way, you know, it's okay. That's not so bad. And you know, you blame it on the seller situation, you know, which is true. You know, the seller can't show it at 6:30. So that's really how you wanna handle. Mithun, what do you think, man? Give me your
Just
feedback
be
on.
careful, guys. If
Go
you
ahead.
are in a, yeah, just be careful if you are on lead generation. Sometimes, like if let's say if it's realtor.com, it does send you the property info. It's a little click that you look at it. If it says contingent and stuff, you already know that property is like a no. So at that point, you're not gonna tell them, oh yeah, you can see it, and then you have to call them back and tell them, oh no, we got it under contract. Then they get upset. So at least go that little extra move, like pay attention real quick and do that, because you'll have people say, oh, what do you mean it's under contract? You just told me I can go see it. You know, so if you have that
Exactly.
access, yeah, if you have that access, try to, you know, try to look real quick at least.
Exactly. And that has happened too. So then how I play that off is like, oh, you know, in my system, it just hadn't updated yet. You know, sometimes I, you know, but I that's happened to me. So you know, you can always play around with it, but you got to learn sort of when to do that. You know, that comes with a little bit of experience. So yeah, absolutely. Mithun, talk to me. What do you think? You got some good insight there?
Yeah, I think that was helpful. For that role play specifically, I think what she did great was she already built that bridge of trust with you. Like, you know, she's talking about your kids' schools, like very personable things like that. The question I had still was like, do you ever, is it appropriate to even mention something like, are you working with another agent? Or is that a question that should be discussed maybe after she goes and shows the property tomorrow morning or something? Because in a lot of these cases, you know, we deal with Zillow scrollers, you know, who maybe have talked to 3 agents already. So the main 2 questions I was thinking of when I texted you yesterday was, you know, when is it appropriate to ask if they're pre-approved, and when is it appropriate to ask if they're working with another agent, you know? And in that scenario, I guess she felt you know, she read the room, she read the phone call, and, you know, okay, I'm not going to ask those questions right now. You know, maybe after our showing tomorrow, I'll get to that. So I guess that's still the 2 questions I would still, you know, don't know when to.
Cool. May, what do you think?
Okay. Yeah. So as far as that call was easy, because he literally told me he was pre-approved for 500. So I didn't even have to worry about it. What I think is, if you show the property, you're putting in the offer. I don't care what realtor you're working with. They like it. They're there with you. Okay.
But when is it appropriate to ask the question? When would you say it's appropriate, or when do you not ask it? When do you ask the question?
The realtor question?
Do you have any? Yeah.
The realtor question?
Yeah.
If I'm making the appointment, I don't ask it.
Yep.
I never ask it.
Yep.
I don't ask.
And if it's
concur.
Go ahead, Sue.
I'm saying I concur. If you're there and you're the person that's writing the offer, automatically it's you. Like, you're the person placing the offer. So automatically it goes to you. You're the agent. So there should be no question to me.
And if it's an OHO lead, then you're the only realtor. They don't pass it on to you if there wasn't a realtor.
Yes,
But if
sir.
it is a Zillow or realtor, I don't typically will ask it, Mithun, about if they're working with an agent. They're interested in seeing the property. They want to see it. You know, if you want to set the appointment, you just got to make sure you set their expectations. So I would say something like, well, listen, we'll take a look at the property, and if afterwards, if you're interested and you like it, you want to move forward, I'll write up the offer and I'll get the paperwork all together, and we'll submit the offer to the seller. Boom. And that sets that expectation that's like, okay, well, this is the person I'm working with, you know. So that, as far as the pre-approval, so there's people that say they don't bring that up. I've never had a problem asking. Like, I just, I don't think it's a problem. I want to know. And the way I always word that is, listen, also, I just want to make sure, that I just want to make sure we make the most out of our time. And that if you really love this house, that we can pull the trigger. Have you already been pre-approved, and are you ready to go, or are you going to be buying cash? So I just asked that question. I've never had a problem asking it, and I know there's some real estate coaches and people out there that say, "Oh, you never bring that up in the first call," and I'm like, no, I don't know. I've always brought it up. So I know, and then I ask even deeper. I would get into like, well, how much down payment are you putting down? Do you know what type of loan you're pre-approved? I ask those questions just to make sure they're really pre-approved. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to show them the house if they're not pre-approved, but I always word like that. Hey, just to make the most out of your time and make sure that, just make sure that if you love this house, you don't lose out. Are you already pre-approved? So, that way they know, and some people will tell you, no, I'm not pre-approved, whatever, but, well, just let them know, hey, well, listen, we'll take a look at it still. I'm going to send you over my lender's information, reach out. If you love the house, you really we don't want to miss out, especially if it's on a weekend, because what happens is that if we go see the house Saturday at 2 p.m. and you love it, and we don't have a pre-approval letter until Monday morning, then we might lose out on it. Luckily, we have a lender we work with that can get you a pre-approval during the weekend, but a lot of the lenders don't do that. So, that's something to keep in mind. All right. Does that answer your question, Mithun, or
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. That was very helpful. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, Vic, that's the route I go when they're not pre-approved, but I still go out to the property and show them the property anyways. Like I don't just dismiss if you're not pre-approved.
Because everything is an opportunity, guys. Every potential person treat it as an opportunity. Opportunity is either gonna go well and you're gonna close them, or opportunity is gonna fall flat. It happens in our business. And majority of opportunities, what do? Do they close or they not close? They don't close. Okay, they don't close. Remember, what did Raul tell us on Wednesday during the training? It takes how many hours to get one appointment? How many appointments does it take to get one deal? What did he say? Was it 10 appointments or 20 appointments?
Every 3 to 4 hours is, well, every hour is a lead. Every 10 leads is one appointment. And then I don't even know. I think 10 appointments is like one actual.
Yeah. So that's 9 deals, 9 opportunities that didn't work out. But so it's the same thing with us and our leads. It's, so you always gotta, just take every opportunity you can get. And you never know, guys. Trust me, these, even if you think a lead is low, it's a low price, man, they turn into a big deal sometimes. So you always got to pursue everything you can. All right, cool.
Hey guys, it's Jen. So I just want perspective on what do you guys think as far as, because obviously he's new, even not as a new agent though, but he has valid questions. And sometimes as I've been doing this, I feel like sometimes I need to vet people a little better because it's your time, right? Time is money. And so, but how do you feel about when you're working with somebody after a while and and you don't have like which is not common. I do want to disclose, I know it's not common for a buyer agent agreement, but like I've been in scenarios where I work with somebody, I've spent a lot of time with that person, and then at the end of the day they end up closing with somebody else and you get zip zero, you spend all this time, and these are real case scenarios. So how do you feel about that, and do you advise that we do anything different when it comes to that, or just your opinion, I guess?
You're right. So my opinion on that, there's a few things. Number one, setting the expectation from the beginning, doing a proper buyer consultation, I feel helps that. Sitting down with your client, explaining them the process, really bringing them in, really feeling like, okay, this is my realtor. Like, my realtor is walking me through every step. So setting that expectation during the buyer's presentation, providing them with your buyer's consultation package, I feel like that already builds that connection with your buyer very strongly. So trying to get that done. I know you can't always do that. I get it, because sometimes it's it's a lead, and you got to meet them at the property and things like that. But if it's a referral, always try to get that done. If it's a lead, you can't always get that done, but just try after maybe the first time. Hey, why don't we meet at our office? We can go over, you know, I want to work with you on the process. I want to let you know every step of the way so that you're prepared on what to expect moving forward. That's one thing. Number two is doing the buyer brokerage agreement, which everybody here in Miami, barely anybody does, but you can have them sign a buyer brokerage agreement. The way that you do that is you present it and say, hey, listen, it's just an agreement that allows me to represent you in the buying of your property. It's not an agreement that you're going to pay me anything. It's not an agreement that, you know, obligates anything at all, but at least have them sign it so it gives them, try to get them to sign it so it gives them a sense that they, you know, that they have that relationship with you further. And if you do a buyer's consultation, you typically do it then. If you're doing it with another buyer, with a lead that you didn't get a chance to really sit down at a table and talk to them, try to send it to them at the time of submitting the offer. You know, at the time when they want to put an offer on a property, or when they want something, try to email them, hey, it's a buyer brokerage agreement. This just allows me to represent you in the purchase of your home. You can read through it. There's nothing there that you know, that it obligates you to do anything. It doesn't cost you anything. I get paid by the seller. So you can kind of go that route with the buyer brokerage agreement. Two things: educate your clients on new construction, educate your clients on open houses. You know, let them know, hey, if by any chance you're interested in new construction, let me know so I can set up the appointments and we can go. You know, if that's something that's in their budget or potentially you think they can go for. Educate them about open houses so they don't walk into an open house without you. Take the time to do that. You know, sometimes they do anyways without you knowing, but you know, there's nothing you can do if they do, but try to educate them about those two things. The other thing is, you know, it's all about, I feel like it's a lot about building relationships and like building that rapport with them. I feel a lot of times when a client goes with another realtor all of a sudden, it may be because maybe they don't feel that strong rapport with you for some reason, or maybe they don't feel like you're being super active, or I don't know, you know, it could be many things. But if your connection with your buyer is strong, that typically doesn't happen. They even become loyal to you. They even say, you know, they call and like, hey, no, I told them I had a realtor, Victor, you know, that they try to get me, see if I wanted to work with them, you know. So you got to kind of educate them on that and just make them feel like, man, this is, you know, you're looking out for their best interest. You're looking out for whatever they need. Also educate them about new construction, open house, and educate them too that any property they kind of may run into on the internet, that they can send it to you and you're able to show it to them. So those three things, those are the big three that I feel people lose clients: is new construction, they walk into another open house, or they see a property on the internet on realtor.com and they call the people without you. So as long as you can educate them that you're able to do all these three things for them, you should be, that should alleviate that. Setting them on a drip campaign, and you guys, you shouldn't let your buyers are like little kids. Like, they start wandering off and you don't know where they're at. So just like when you're watching your kids, you got to keep an eye on them every little bit to make sure they didn't wander off. You need to do the same thing with your buyers. So I literally, like, every 2 days, I typically don't go more than 2 days without a touch, without even just a little text. Hey, how are you? Any of those properties that I've emailed you like, or hey, you know, happy Mother's Day. Hey, you know, I don't go more often. I would say I never, ever more than 3 days without a touch with one of my buyers. As like the active ones that are like, you know, we could find the home at any moment. So you want to make sure that, you know, you do those things, and those are pretty much the main things that alleviate, Jen. And I know it's not a common thing. It does happen, and it's impossible to be protected 100% against it, unfortunately. But I would say those things that I just mentioned would help making sure that that client feels that loyalty towards you. So yeah, anybody else has any input on that? Yessie, May, anybody? No. Yossi, you unmuted, you're gonna talk?
Oh, I forgot to unmute. No, no, I'm good.
Oh, good. So Jen, I hope that
You
helps.
do find
Oh,
you
go ahead, May.
when you do like lead generation, you're finding, and I kind of feel bad because sometimes you'll find people saying, yeah, like they'll tell you I'm working with a realtor, and then you kind of like, okay, well, you know, if you're a realtor, if you're ever not happy, you know, I'm also here to help if you ever need anything. It's kind of like how I approach it. And sometimes they'll be like, yeah, you know, I'm a little bit overwhelmed and I haven't been able to. It's almost like if they're letting you know, and sometimes it's not the realtor's fault and you feel kind of bad because you know it's not the realtor's fault. It's just, it's the market, but it's kind of a way in to try to steal them, I guess, in a way, which is so bad. But sometimes you have that opportunity to be able to start working with somebody that maybe is working with a realtor and isn't happy.
So this is great, May. So this is the other side of that equation.
I'm actually texting one person now.
So what are you seeing when a buyer, what is it that maybe that buyer that you feel like, oh, I can maybe take this client. What is it that you're seeing that client that the realtor is not doing? What
I don't even think it's the realtor's fault, honestly. I'm honestly thinking it's the market. So a lot of times you're hearing them say that they've put in a ton of offers and nothing's gotten accepted, which is going on with all of us, right? Just because of the market and, you know, the low inventory. So, you know,
Yeah,
sometimes you
fatigue.
do hear, I have heard, you know, I haven't heard from my realtor. Okay, so I have a client that I'm working with. So there's a perfect example. We already closed on a property and we're in the process of buying our second property, right? So how did I get her? She was working with a realtor. She came in, I had a listing and she came in to see my property, right? She was a cash buyer. It's not that she didn't like the property was too small for her.
She
So
went by herself to see your property?
she went by herself. That's number one, right? To see my property. So I exchanged numbers with her because obviously she was a cash buyer. I'm like, oh, let me see what I can do for you, whatever. She was already working with a realtor. I'm like, oh, but that's okay. You know, let me, you know, anything I could do to help. I always do that. I know you have a realtor, but anything I could do to help.
Yeah.
So, I knew she was cash. I literally, you know, just, oh, how are you? I just kind of entertained it back and forth. And I kept in touch with her. I literally just kept in touch with her. And one day out of the blue, she sends me a property. Literally out of the blue. She just texts me, can you see if this is available? And I'm like, absolutely. I jumped on it right away. She's like, I want to see the property. I go, okay, are you available at such and such time? She's like, yes. So we go, we see the property, and she's like, okay, I want it. Can we put an offer? So I put the offer. So she tells me later that same exact property, she told her realtor that she wanted to go see it. And her realtor was telling her that she couldn't get a hold of anyone. And she was giving her the runaround for a few days that she couldn't get a hold of anyone to go see the property. So that's why she texted me. And that I was able to get her an answer within 10 minutes to go see the property. So I guess that realtor was just either busy or, you know, and forgot maybe.
Yeah, maybe you might have gotten lucky and you called at the right time when they were finally answering the phone. I mean,
I don't know,
maybe.
because I dealt with that realtor and she was always answering.
So maybe that realtor was.
Or I don't know. I thought maybe.
Let me ask you a question. And everything you said you kept in touch. And then one day she texts you a property. When you say you kept in touch, what was the manner or the frequency you would say that you kept in touch?
I would just like text her like every so often. I didn't want to bombard her because obviously she was working with a realtor. So I wasn't going to be like, you know, every week harassing her. But maybe every 2 to 3 weeks, just sending a hi, how are you? Remember, I'm always here to help if you need anything. You know, just a little quick, I don't know, just a little quick text, you know, how are you? I didn't, like I said, I knew she was working with a realtor. I didn't, you know, I mean, at the same time, and it's our business, you know? So yeah, I mean, I didn't expect it, honestly.
Cool.
But I was like, maybe I'll get lucky.
Well, you
did.
kept in touch. You kept in touch. You probably kept in touch more than her realtor was even reaching out. And that part is important, you know? it's, you know, you
Well, yeah,
paid
she told me
attention. You paid attention to the people. Oh my God, they're paying attention to me. So it's
she said that she would try to call or text her realtor, and that her realtor would take forever to get back to her. And like me, for instance, she calls me yesterday on a property. I'm in the middle of, I picked up my brother at the hospital and I took him to eat. And I pick up the phone. I'm like, please excuse me. I know it's really loud. There was like really loud music going. She's like, no, it's okay. You finish your dinner. But like, I pick up the phone. I'm available, you know, even if it's loud, I'll just, please excuse the background noise, but I'm available, you know, like I'm available for my clients. And I think that's
Right.
very important.
cool. All right, so guys, this has been, what's already 10:45. So, you know, I usually try to keep these around 45 minutes, maybe a little more sometimes if it goes. Anybody has any other questions? Anything? Oh man, I just noticed there's a chat here. Okay, it's Sue. Hence coffee or tea. So Sue says, hence a coffee. Yes, those are awesome. Hence a coffee, tea, or office meeting with a buyer agreement is a great idea, showing them through a step-by-step guide and chat that you work for them, and it's free. They don't pay you. Simple. Yeah. So yeah, I think those are great things. It's educating your buyers, make sure that they're aware of the process. Honestly, when I deal with people and they educate me and they're teaching me things and they're sort of feel like they're holding my hand, I kind of trust them. I trust those people when they make me feel that way in other things in my life, you know. So I try to give that to clients as well, you know, make them feel like I'm here to help you accomplish your goals. I'm holding your hand. I got you. And you know, that typically works. So yeah, guys. So
Vic,
I feel like this has been a pretty great, productive conversation today. Been good.
what happens if they do sign that and they go off and use someone else?
Yeah, I mean, so if you notice that agreement, so I've always said this about that agreement. It's the buyer, it says there that the buyer can cancel at any time. You can cancel at any time. But if they do go off with somebody else, then yeah, then you could kind of probably go after them for the commission. Yeah, it's never happened. I've never had a case where we'd have to do it, but yeah, you could. If they sign it and they go buy a property without you, then
Well,
yeah.
here's a scenario, because Vic, I know that scenario I had, I got you involved too.
Mhm.
And that buyer I had, it was somebody we had rapport, somebody I've known. And I think it was a language barrier situation with the spouse, because it's not always, you know, especially when there's a spouse situation. Anyway, and afterwards, when I ran into that person again, they're like, listen, I'm so embarrassed. Is that, you know, this person from church, and she's speaks like she was the same they were Brazilian, so they both spoke Portuguese or whatever. And she's like, and I told her the only way I would work with her is if she split her commission with you because you worked hard and blah blah blah. And then at the end of the day, the lady was just like, no, your husband was a pain in the ass and I'm not sharing my commission. But I feel like if there was a paper in place to protect me, I could have gone after it, you know, at least tried, you know, because it's time. Like I said, it's time, it's investment. Granted, not all deals go your way or whatever, but when you put in a lot of time, those were things along the way that have made me question, like, should I maybe be a little bit more selective? Should I put some stuff in place to protect me? Because at the end of the day, we don't get paid until a deal closes. So
Exactly. No, you bring up a great point. So definitely, I feel like that's a business decision you got to make, and if that's and that's your standard, like, hey, I'm only going to work with buyers if you sign my buyer brokerage agreement, and not, you know, that's not that's how you got to tell the clients. I'm just talking in general. If that's how you want to do it, then I would go for it, man. And you know, that's your standard. That's, you know, it's just in Miami. And by the way, buyer brokerage agreements, guys, all throughout the country, they're very common. They're very common. It's for some reason here in Florida, we don't use them that much. You know, when we go to, sometimes you know, I go to these mastermind groups and I'm on these calls with realtors from all over the country. And it's always the Florida people that, you know, oh, we don't do that. We don't use a buyer brokerage agreement. And everywhere else in the country, it's pretty normal, you know? So yeah, Jen, I would say, you know, that would be the best thing you can put. Or you know what, Jen, this is probably what I would do. This is probably what I would do. And I think I wish I would have thought of this. I might have thought of this and forgot that I thought about it. Why don't we create a custom buyer brokerage agreement? Because let's talk about it. That buyer brokerage agreement, it's a little scary. It's like 3 pages. There's a lot of words there. It's not scary to us, and if you understand it, it's not scary at all. But to a buyer, it might seem like, oh my God, what am I signing here? Da, da, da. So why don't we, and maybe we can do this together, or let's focus on this. Maybe we can make it a thing that we got to get done next week. But why don't we create a custom, simple, 1-page buyer brokerage agreement? We take some of the wording from the buyer brokerage agreement that now exists, and we sort of kind of take the stuff that's very common and clear, and we take out the scary stuff, because some of those stuff there, it says, oh, well, the buyer will pay you a commission. Certain things, there's certain wordings that are not necessary. We could take, obviously, the wording that is necessary to protect you and protect us as agents, and we kind of do like a custom agreement. I think that's that there's no problem with that. We can do something like that. So we take out the scary stuff, we make it shorter, and we have our own custom element buyer brokerage agreement. What do you think?
I love it.
I mean, that sounds good to me.
Yeah. So let's we did that back in the day for renters, because we used to do, when we first got into business, we used to do a lot of rentals, and sometimes there were so many of them that a renter would disappear on you before giving you the deposit. So we would make them sign like a custom rental sort of buyer agreement that if we're gonna meet with them, they have to put the offer with us. So we used to do that with renters back in the day. I'm talking back in like 2013, 2014. But we can do something like that. I think that would be pretty cool. And we can make it a simple, super friendly, buyer brokerage agreement that still protects you, but it's super clear, and it's going to highlight all the benefits that we do for them. So that's buyer brokerage agreement. It's going to say, we do this for you, 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 So they're going to be like, oh my God, my realtor does all this work for me. See, that buyer brokerage agreement doesn't do all that. So it's going to be, we'll make it seem like, wow, this is great. But by the way, if you buy a property without me, like, you got to pay me commission, So let's try that. I think that'll be good. All right.
Vic, and just to clarify, so if they do buy a property, is it then on the transaction where they have to split with us, or are we technically going after the buyer?
You go after the buyer.
Ah.
You go after the buyer. Yeah.
Um,
And it's never been. Then you got to hire an attorney, and then you got to
I
do
have-
things, but you could
I was
absolutely.
just
I
gonna say
have a
that.
little question.
Yeah, go ahead, Lanai.
I think that I think it's all a really nice idea, but I think another thing is you don't want to be known as the agent that goes after people. You know what I mean? Like long-term career goal. Like if you're gonna be if you plan on being an agent, a full-time agent, that's where you make all your money from. Do you really want to put yourself out as the agent that fought for $2,000 of a split with another agent and went after your buyer? I mean, that's really bad press in communities, and word of mouth. You're not gonna. I'd rather have them feel guilty for not using me and being like, oh my gosh, she was so good. They just, somebody else came and swept me off my feet and I went with them, but she was awesome. She was great. I think I look at it from that perspective.
That's a good counterpoint. And what I would say to that counterpoint is that, so, like, I get that you said like bad press, but here, like, honestly, I don't think there would be any bad press. Like, you would do that, and I don't think anybody would really know about that. I know that, Lanai, you're in Port St. Lucie. You're in a kind of maybe a smaller market where you guys have more of a sense of community, where that word of mouth in a specific neighborhood or neighborhoods maybe could get out. But in Miami, it's just, it's so
Yeah, you're
spread
right.
out here that I feel like, but that's a great counterpoint. if you, especially if you farm an area and you farm a specific neighborhood, yeah, because the neighbors talk, you know.
I guess the other thing too also is it's a show of commitment from the buyer's end, you know. So not necessarily that we would go after it or whatever. You could if you wanted to. And I, like I said just now, I asked a question because I didn't know that you'd go after the buyer for it. I really wouldn't go after the buyer for it. But just like in that specific scenario where the realtor, you know, said to the buyer, yeah, sure, work with me and I'll do this or whatever, you know, and gave that buyer that confidence in or like that peace of mind, and then pulled a little number on her, you know what I'm saying? So I guess just to get more commitment on the buyer side.
Yeah,
But
and
that
you
just
could,
depends on you and you know what
yeah,
you're
and,
gonna want to do in your business.
and you could go after the buyer. To be clear, you go after the buyer, and you can go after the other realtor, but you can't go after the seller because the seller has nothing to do. The seller's like, what does that agreement with your buyer have anything to do with me?
But how did the other realtor know? Why would you?
Because great question. How does the other realtor know? Because when you're a member of the National Association of Realtors, you have to go by our code of ethics and standards, and you're not supposed to, you know, it's a violation. So how can you go after them? You know, you go after them like that. Like it's not like law wise, like you can't really like go to court, but you can say, hey, there's a violation of our code of ethics. I have a buyer brokerage agreement. You're violating that. So they might get a fine or something like that. You could threaten that way.
At the end of the day, it's like
But-
what Jen says.
Yes.
It's more about, I mean, by the time here in Miami, by the time you go to sue someone for a bit of commissions, you spend more than triple or quadruple amount in attorneys anyways.
Exactly.
So
You're gonna go
it's more like what
if you're
Jen
trying to get, but you know what, Jen, I agree with what you're saying. You know, it's more about the commitment. It's not really about going after the buyer. And you know, you probably wouldn't do that. I know you probably wouldn't for 5 grand, 10 grand, 15. Maybe if you're dealing with like a huge commission, 30, you know, 30,000 plus or something like that, maybe you would, you know, so that's a big deal. But yeah, once you start hiring attorneys, you're like, man, I'm gonna have to pay 5 grand to put an attorney on retainer to try to get my 10 grand, you know, like sometimes it's not even worth it, you know what I mean? So yeah. But guys, I love this conversation. Any other input? Anything else? All right, guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for joining. Yanelis, thank you so much. Lanai, thank you for that input. Mithun, Jen, May, Suhei, Yessi, I appreciate you guys jumping on the call. We always do these calls every Friday, every Monday. Fridays is more like a huddle mastermind. Mondays is more like a little bit more of coaching and things like that. But it's always great to kind of sit down, pause for an hour. I hope you guys are getting some stuff out of these calls. And you know, we this is how we get better. You know, we sit down, we speak, we converse, and it makes us all better at the end of the day. So I hope, you know, we're better right now than we were an hour ago because we have a little better insight on how to do things. I'm gonna work on that buyer brokerage agreement. I'm gonna work on customizing that, and it's gonna be a legal document that is enforceable and everything. Just because we make something up doesn't mean it's not legal. You know, a document is a document. Yeah, I think that's going to be a great idea, and hopefully that'll help alleviate this situation, you know. Yeah, guys, so I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Hope you guys have you know, it's Mother's Day, so spend time with your moms, relax. Great opportunity, guys, to reach out to past clients that are moms. You know, send them a little happy moms text or a little mass email to all your mom clients out there or all your potential prospects that are moms. So great opportunity, guys. I know I always put about family, but hey, at the end of the day, we're in sales, we're agents. So, you know, we got to make sure there's an opportunity for a touch. So definitely to those potential clients, any buyers you're working, any potential listings in the future, you know, a little happy Mother's Day text or email goes a long way. So definitely take that opportunity to make sure you get that done. And I don't want to sound like a broken clock, but remember, guys, on weekends, Sundays, plan out your week, figure out what you want to do. if you want to set up some of those things that Raul talked about during the training, put that on your calendar. Say, hey, I'm gonna, Monday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'm gonna work on registering with those websites where I can get the list. Put it on your calendar. Whatever it is you're gonna do, whatever you want to happen, your priorities, make sure it's reflected on your calendar. That's something that I'm always gonna keep preaching to you guys always, because I know it's gonna help you guys actually get it done. So guys, that's all I have for you. Enjoy Mother's Day, enjoy the weekend, keep killing it. And I'm here for you guys, whatever you guys need, anything at all. I'm here, call me, text me, and then I'll let you guys know when we have that buyer brokerage agreement. All right, guys? You guys have a good Friday.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye,
And May,
guys.
thank you so much, May, for the role playing. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I know you caught me off guard and out of breath, but okay.
Thank
That
you
was great.
for-
Got through it. When my heart was finally like, when I got my breath back.
Thank you so much.
It was funny.
Thank
All right,
Guys,
guys.
have a good one. Lanai,
Have a
thank
good
you
weekend,
again for
everyone.
jumping. Have a good weekend.
Happy Mother's Day
Bye.
to all the mommies out there.
Likewise.
And our future mommies.
Oh yeah, future
Yeah.
mommies. Yes, absolutely.
That's Jen right there.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
All right. Bye, guys.